one was Irene.
The other stuff was also very good. The regular stuff.
Irene, the South African lady.
Oh yeah, very good. Much better than usual. Better than usual.
Yeah, very much better.
Amen. We're recording.
Okay. Questions on the sugya? Very up to $1. So, are you allowed to gamble? Huh?
We know the answer.
Which is what?
Which is if the person, if it's for money, the guy's losing, they may cause him that he doesn't want to give it. It's like it's just for a game.
No one ever wants to lose. Everyone wants to win.
No, but if it's actually the case, it's not. The game on the nickel isn't fun.
So, are you allowed to gamble? That's the question.
No.
No? So, what do we do on Hanukkah?
You're allowed to gamble.
People gamble on Hanukkah. How did it become a minhag in Kleishal to gamble on Hanukkah?
You're not.
I personally don't do it, but it's like a minhag, right? People gamble on Hanukkah, no?
Because it's supposed to be
Two things. One, gambling.
He's likely.
Gambling is mutter when it's not for parnasa. Like you can't be sumech on it, but you can do it awry. And on Hanukkah, it's a religious tradition that's not.
It's a chiyuv.
It's part of the chag.
It's a chiyuv to gamble.
Well,
So-
every Moskowitz made his millions from bingo nights.
In gambling.
In gambling, yeah.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
I didn't know
That's how he made his fortune.
So are you allowed to own a casino? This guy, Adelson.
Yeah. Adelson, for sure.
Sheldon,
Are you allowed to do that? Yeah. Is it mutter?
Billions.
You're allowed to run a casino?
I hold by him.
You don't think so?
To run a casino?
Not like a
Yeah.
bank.
Why not?
Why not?
Because are you gambling?
No,
Is that called
you're not
gambling?
gambling. You're just providing this goyim as an outlet for their employee.
People go to a casino saying,
Yeah, it's for the goyim.
donate this money.
There's a real.
Doesn't have to be a donation. L'chaira, I mean, the Gemara says that you postulate this if you gamble, right?
Right.
So you own a casino, you postulate this? You're saying for sure, right?
Why? Why?
Why? What's the difference?
Because
You own the casino, you work, what?
It's a groma.
Gambling, you want
It's a
You're
groma.
gambling, it's your money.
the house gambles against you.
The house is gambling against you, right? I'm not talking about casino, the guys come and they play cards.
expense.
No, the guys are coming and you're making the money by gambling against them. That's how they're making their money.
What's your
Do
stamp?
you think the din of a casino owner is a gambler?
1,000%. There's no shite, he's gambling against people. The question is gambling mutter or not? He's gambling. He's posel edus. The question is, does that mean it's asa? Are you allowed to? The second question is, are you allowed to gamble with the goy? You're not allowed to gamble with the yid. You're allowed to gamble with the goy. Also, posel is asa. Maybe it's mutter, gambling with the goy. You're allowed to use the chazaka, the rave of the people coming in, the yidden, and those are goyim, and even the ones that come in the yidden, maybe they're not shemir mitzvahs, so you're allowed to gamble with them. I don't know. So, not parnasa just for fun, l'chayr is mutter. We'll see. Maybe it's mutter just for fun. Why? If the whole reason why, we'll see. But the Gemara says there's two reasons why you can't
The guy
gamble.
has to be Michael. He can't feel that
He's never huh? The Gemara has two reasons why you can't gamble. First reason the Gemara says Rambam Chama because asmachta leikanya. L'chayr if it's asmachta leikanya, there's also midoraisa, right? You're taking the guy's money, asmachta leikanya, you robbed him. In which case, l'chayra, are you allowed to gamble with a goy? No, because you're not allowed to rob a goy, right?
The right so you can.
You can't rob a goy.
The right so you can, the right not.
Not so pasuk. There's a pasuk. It's not so pasuk. It's only the Rabbanan. Could be the rice even.
Not for Abagoy?
Yeah. Could be even the rice, not Rabba Goy. There's a pasuk. Maybe we'll see it. Huh? No, the pasuk is when he came into that shawl, he said, "Lo yikein tasa." You're allowed to take whatever you want. There's a special pasuk when they came to that shawl. They're allowed to take whatever they want from the houses. Mashma Michal. They don't have the Isser of Lo Sigzol, that's for sure. There isn't a classic Lo Sigzol. The Gemara says they got the Isser of, when you come into the houses, you can take whatever you want. Mashma Dumali, you can't. Right? You can't just rob a guy. Also, Pashas even midoraisa. So if the issue of gambling is a smach loikanya, so you can't gamble with a guy either. It could be someone will say it's only the Rabbanon Gezel. The Rambam is mashma. The issue of gambling, the Gezel is a Rabbanon Gezel. It's not the Raisa Gezel. The question is, why is it only the Rabbanon? Because you didn't walk into his house to steal. He's giving you the money. At the end of the game, he gives you the money. You didn't rob him. It's bedaitai. This is not classic Gneva. The guy's giving you the money. He wants to pay you. He wants you to keep the casino open. He's not like, I'm not paying you, close the casino down. The guy's das is yet to pay you. It's not a classic Gezel. So why is he kosher? Why is he postulated? Okay, we'll see. We'll see. The next question is an usher allowed to gamble? Someone's rich. Is he allowed to gamble? You're not doing it for the money. You're not gambling you're not making parnasa from it. Guys lose. You win some hands. You lose some hands. No one loses straight. You always win something. So
the guy that's losing against him,
yeah,
may not be an usher.
He's an ani. Okay, he's not Michael. Right, but we don't need his mechila. He has das. He's gambling. Are you allowed to? We said if the second sheet of the Gemara is that's also the gamble because ain't no Isaac b'shuva shalaylam. You're not making a parnasa. You're wasting your life. You're what's a nice way of saying?
No, it's a natural.
Yeah,
but that's a different story. That's
well, it's a machlekes. Rabbi Bachama and Rav Sheshes. Whether the reason is because you're smach lekanya or none of the smach lekanya. There's no smach lekanya here. Taisha says, of course, it's a smach lekanya. His das was to make. You can't say gezel.
He knew there was a chance that
He knew. No one. Taisha says no one's gambling thinking he's going to win. Everyone knows there's a risk. It's a ridiculous tomorrow. I know I'm going to lose. You knew it was a gamble. You both knew it was a gamble. It's absurd to say that he had no das to lose. He knew it's a 50-50 chance. He didn't know he was going to win. If he knows he's winning, so he's cheating. Right? He knows he could lose. There's no problem with smach lekana. Therefore, Rav Sheshes says the reason is ain't no Isaac b'shuva shalaylam. Rashi says, what does that mean? He doesn't know. A guy whose parnasa is to just play the stock market, or he goes to Vegas once a month for a couple of days and comes back with $20,000. Rashi says he has no idea how hard it is to make a parnasa. To get up every morning, 6 o'clock, work your brains out, come back 10 o'clock at night exhausted. He thinks parnasa, you come, you throw some dice and you made a parnasa, right? Rashi says that type of person you can't be soymechan for neighbors. He'll easily take money from the wrong guy because money, what's money? He went to the casino, he threw some dice and he made $10,000, right? You can't trust such a person. He doesn't understand how what's it called? How hard it is. Other Mepharshim say that's not pshat, right? Just he doesn't understand how hard it is to make a parnasa. He's not a serious human being. The guy never got a 9-to-5 job. Mashmal if he's that. If a guy does work half day, let's say he gambles, it's not enough to pay his bills. He works half day and he gambles a little bit.
Is somebody in Kolo also in the same category?
Good question. Good question. Of course, he's like there. It's probably the worst paying, hardest job that there is. If you do the numbers, a guy's got a Kyle. They work from 9 till whatever it is, 6 normally, 7, right? And it's not like most jobs nowadays where they take off a lunch break for an hour, they're on their phone for 3 hours a day.
They don't have a boss.
Most guys, well, they get there eventually, but most guys who work, they take off 3 hours in the afternoon, they're on their phones half the time, they're schmoozing with the wife. Because the guy in Kyle, he sits there, and he takes out his phone, he's out normally, right? Maybe you can go out for a coffee break for 5 minutes, but that's about it. They work like 12 hours a day, 10 hours a day, and they're making the lowest salary in the Shire, right? So if you Rashi swear for sure they're kosher leidus, right? Because they for sure know how hard it is to make a buck. No one knows how hard it is to make a buck more than a Kailal guy. In fact, if you do a study, the guys that leave Kailal and work, they normally work very hard and make good money. Because they're used to really working hard for many years. They understand it, right?
But you didn't ask a postulated, you asked if it's mutter. That's why I told you.
There's two questions. Is it mutter and are they
That's why I told you that
postulated?
you guys not Michael. Forget about the postulated. The guy that you won from
Is it Gezer?
Yeah, he's not Michael. That's why this is Bachta.
Why is it not Michael?
Because he thought he thought he was gonna win.
He thought he was going to win, but he knows you might lose.
Nobody
That was the
nobody
agreement.
goes into
But that's the agreement. You agreed. You agreed to do something. So you're right. So the Yasmach Kanya, the shaila is he poselatus, is it mutter? Two different shailas. Is it mutter? And even if it's also, mechdes is poselatus. Just because it's also doesn't mean it's poselatus.
These guys who were in the World Series of Poker, they gotta sit literally from 6 o'clock in the morning until midnight, playing poker all day.
Saying it's hard.
They gotta think.
You're saying it's hard work.
They're counting cards.
Saying
Nobody knows how hard it is to win the World Series.
you're saying it became a very hard job.
I'm saying it's very difficult. You want to make a parnassus?
Yeah, no,
gamble?
I don't
You have
think
to
that's-
stress, am I going to win? Am I going to lose?
No, but the point is like this, right? You can be working just as hard playing poker, make $5, or you could be gambling for $5 million, right? So the money has no cheshivas in your eyes. I think that's part of the nakuda. You could gamble all day and you made $10, or you could gamble in 5 minutes and make $10 million, right? It's not about how much effort you put into it. That's the nakuda. It's about how risky you are.
Nothing's about that.
How do you make the money when you gamble? How are you making the money when you gamble? It's all about risk. It's all about saying, I'm confident. I put my money down. You made money. That's not work. There's zero work in that.
Go into sales.
That's
Some
work.
days You put in all the work.
Right,
Nothing
but
shows up.
right, but you can't. But in sales, you can't decide how much money you're making. You can't decide how much money you could make. You gamble. You decide right now. I want to make $1 million a day. You come and you put $1 million on the table, and it lands on red. You made $1 million. You did nothing. The fact that a guy can sit there schwitz out all day playing cards, that's because he's risk averse, right? But if he wants to, the money's not coming from his work. The money's coming from the guy who sat down and said, you know what, put the money down, you just made $1 million. That's where the money's coming from. That's something else. I always thought that's pshat, but no one says that. He's not being productive. There's nothing wrong with not being productive.
What?
If you sit at home, let's say a guy...
You're doing it all wrong.
Huh?
Why did you do that?
I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with it. It's pretty bad, right? But if a guy sits at home, he doesn't. 100%. It's the worst thing in the world. The person has to be productive, but you're not poselatus. If a guy's a Talmud Chacham, he's gone through Shas, he knows Kal Kula, he keeps Torah mitzvahs, he sits at home in bed, smoking cigars, looking at the view. Is he poselatus? No. If you gamble, you're poselatus. It's not just because you didn't help anybody. I think it's because you're doing something negative. We're going to see. Let's take a look at the sugya. That was just a brief akdama.
What were we?
What out?
Is it a mission?
Yudzayin?
We talked about multiple jobs that puzzled me.
Yeah. Here we're talking about Psuli Edis, which are awesome midrabanan. The guy's supposed to be midrabanan. Sacha Bekuvia, Seichei Shvius, and
The birds.
Mavricha Yoinim. Yeah. Let's take a look. We were. Let's see the Shulchan Aruch inside again once we're here. Tezayin. Mavricha Yoinim. Tezayin in the Shulchan Aruch. We'll do a quick recap. Mavricha Yoinim. Pirush Meladim Moisim Lahavi Yoinim Mishayva Chazulas. They teach their birds how to steal other birds. They send them on a mission, come back with a playmate, and now I've got two birds, right? That way you keep getting a bigger... The question is, why is he not possible with the Raisa? But l'chayra, Mafrichiyin in B'Yishuv, they do it in town, as opposed to in the fields where no one owns the birds. Psulim, they're possible. Peshech Eskasan, Shegoizlim Yen Shalachayrim. They're robbing other people's birds, right? So why are they possible with the Rabbanon? We'll see. But l'chayra, they're possible with the Rabbanon because...
If your dovecot is 50, if your dovecot is 50 amos from somebody else, isn't it mutter?
If you're, because what?
Because they're not going to go farther than 50 amos.
No, they'll fly for miles, these things. They fly for miles till they find the partner, they come back, they bring another bird. So the first reason why it's not Gezel is because the guy who you stole the bird from, he was never kind of the bird. It happens to be in his Shavach. It's not his bird. He never did a kinyan on the bird, and you're not doing a kinyan on the bird. There happens to be a bird in his thing, and he takes the eggs. It's not like it belonged to him. That's some of the would say. So, v'chein, soiche shvius, people that sell perish shvius. We know soiche shvius is asa. You do it, you're possible with Rabbanon. So you're going to see. Well, it's also the soiche schayr with shvius. So the Shulchan Aruch explains, v'hein b'nei adam, sheyeshim b'telim, they don't do anything. Now Shvius comes around, right? What do? They go to all the fields with the hefka fruit. They take the fruit. They start selling it. You're not allowed to do schayra with perish shvius.
And how does what's their bait in? What is everyone is the bait in?
So Eitze based in L'chayr lo poslay. There's although Eitze based in. No, I'm kidding. Eitze based in works is you're not paying people for the fruit. You're paying them for the labor.
So why can't we say it in this situation too? The guy's got to go around. He's got to.
So you can't take.
Bring it to this.
I'm not. If there's a basin that says, "Listen, basin is taking all this fruit from Hafgad. We didn't pay for the fruit, but we paid a guy to drive the truck to Tzfat to bring all these strawberries down to Yerushalayim." You have to make a real assessment how much it costs to drive the truck down from Tzfat to load the strawberries. You're not paying for the strawberries. You're just paying for the service that they brought you these fruit. For some reason, sometimes it works out more expensive than just buying the bottle of wine.
It's best. It's not a.
No one's doing it. That's the point. No one's making money. Basin is just they're your shliach. Basin's your shliach. They go get you the free fruit. I once went to a soda on Shvius for Esrog, and the guy had a big sign up saying, what was it? Now, he had beautiful Esrog. You normally pay like that. Yeah, it was Eitze based in. You had to go to the soda pick your own. As he said, please pay 30 shekels or 50 shekels for the hitzos. What are the hitzos? They had some Mexican guys there pruning the field and watering it. They're not allowed to make it grow, but they're allowed to stop like the whatever. So they had people there doing it. This was after I went to a different field where they didn't hire people. It was pure hefka, and there was thousands of esrogim there. There was not one even kosher esrog. Everything was just ruined in holes and trashed. If they don't take care of the esrog field, nothing comes out of it. Because the vines go everywhere they poke them, they break them, they fall. I went to this place, you couldn't even walk through the thing. It was impossible. There was nothing there. Huge esrog field, thousands of bushes. I don't know what. I couldn't find one kosher esrog. Then I went to this guy. He charged 50 shekels to maintain the thing. I still think he probably made a nice amount of money.
Let me see. 5 seconds.
So says the Shulchan Aruch.
One.
This is what we wanted to focus on. Someone plays with. I guess kubya means like a cube, like they used to throw dice, right? That's what it was. Kubya, you throw the dice. When you parcel, a guy's mesacher bekuvya for a living. A guy goes to the casinos. Who? This is his job. He's parcel. Why is he parcel? So the Shulchan Aruch passes like Rav Sheshes. Since he's not doing anything constructive, this is what you said. He's parcel.
There's also a difference between the Masada and Kubia because you're just rolling dice.
As opposed to what? Cards?
No skill.
Cards is a skill.
Cards, yeah. Like I know people who you can count them. You have to. Is this worth?
So some people want to say that, for example, trading in shares, right? You're buying, you're selling, it's gambling. You've no idea. You buy a share. You've no idea if it's going up, going down. You buy a share. I'm not talking about like guys who invest long term and that. I'm talking about a guy, a day trader. He sells and buys 1,000 times in one day. He buys, it could go up, it could go down. He buys, he sells. It's gambling. Well, he's not helping anyone. No one has anything better from the world because he sat there all day gambling with the shares, right? No one makes anything from it.
If he has 2 dice, and the dice there's 2 4s, 2 5s, and 2 6s on it.
Yeah.
So he's gambling less because he's going to win more. Because the guy that looks at his dice is only going to see 3 sides, and he's going to have high.
So
that's not called a gambler. You're saying?
Yeah, he's less than gambling.
He's a gambler.
It's cheating, perhaps. But
yeah. Right. So, but a guy deals with stocks, for example. So some places say, look, it's not pure gambling. There's some skill involved, like you're saying. There's some skill involved to read the charts to see where it's going. It's not just like you're throwing dice, right? Yeah, you're an expert. You're a mumcha. There's people that know how to do it. They make great money doing it. Okay, maybe, but mitzad sheni, No one has anything from the fact that you sat there all day and you made $10 or you made $100, except for you. You made money off of it.
If you're a financial advisor and you have clients, you're making money for them.
That's something else. You're talking about financial. I'm talking about a guy who sits there and he buys and sells shares all day on the New York Stock Exchange. No one has any benefit from this guy. He could do it his whole life 1,000 times over. No one will even know about it. He might have an account full of money. So we're going to see. Is he Posel Eidos? I remember someone asked a Shiloh, someone who I know, someone who's this way did for a living, day trader, made a lot of money, local guy. And someone asked me, is he Posel Eidos? Is he like, no one ever benefited from the guy.
He buys apartments for his children, his grandchildren.
Huh?
He buys apartments for his children.
He sure does, but that's still called The gamble also goes to casino, makes tons of money. He's paying he built a new shul for everyone, right? He's making tons of money. Doesn't mean you can't make money, but so according to Rashi, he has no idea how hard it is to make a parnasa.
What does that actually mean?
You're not Isaac and Yishuv. You're not building the world. Hashem wants you to be here. Hashem wants you to be productive, like saying, Hashem wants you to look. That's a posh shot. Hashem wants you to actually benefit society, build a road, fix someone's toilet, build a website for someone, and just sit there and just gamble. No one has that. If everyone did that, there'd be no world.
This guy lives in the forest, and all he does is just he builds his own cabin, he sits and fishes, he just chills out all day. That's it.
So he's helping him. He's building a world. He's building himself a world at least.
You do something a little illegal, and then you build a shul with part of your profit.
Yeah.
So does that make it okay?
I tell you, the Gaon says, if you built a shul with 0 gezel, you made sure there's 0 gezel, all the tefillahs will be answered miyad. The reason why our tefillahs aren't answered is because the shuls are built with gezel. That's one of the reasons. The feed the grow. It makes a big difference.
Don't daven at the garage. Everywhere else.
That's why we have in the Chassidische Stiebelach.
You're like, it's fine.
I had someone, one of the later Paisim, I'm not going to say who because my father wrote a letter to this guy who put an article out and he said it's Lashon Hara. How do you say such a disgusting thing, right? But one of the later Gedalim said the reason why the Jews the reason why the Jews in Poland were so poor as opposed to the Jews in Germany is because they were much more Hamish with the Gelt and they were over, so therefore they should have made them aniyim. But the Jews in Germany the Yekkers were much more careful, so they were rich.
Well, I thought it's because they worked.
No, obviously it's going to do that. It's because it's all in the Shemayim, right? Okay. Says the Shulchan Aruch. So why is Einos B'Shuv Shalom a problem? So you might think, like you said, because you're not being productive. So the Shulchan Aruch says, no, that's not the problem. It's not because you're not being productive. It's because if you gamble and you don't do anything else, Mistami, you're eating your winnings. And eating your winnings is Ava Gezel. Ava Gezel means Gezel D'Rabbanan. If you eat from your winnings, then you're over Ava Gezel D'Rabbanan.
What if you give it all away to tzedakah?
That's fine, says the Shulchan Aruch. Not only that, not only if you give it to stock, you're fine. If you have a gambling account, you don't cash in the chips. You go to the casino every day, and you got a massive account there with chips worth millions of dollars. You're not supposed to make this because you're not using it to live off. It's for fun. You go there, you gamble, you have a good time with the friends to pass the time. You're not living off the money. The problem is living off the money. What? It's avak gezel if you live off the money. The question is who cares if you eat it? Why only if you eat it is avak gezel? Let's say I took the money home, put it in my account, and worth millions. Why is that not a problem?
Why is that?
Big machlokes rishonim. What? So only if you eat it, he says, is a avak gezel, because there's a whole shali of kinyonim. He gave you the money. You weren't. I think the Ritva says, because you didn't eat it, because you didn't buy something with the money, you weren't claiming the money. You weren't over gezel. It's only gezel midrabanan anyway. So there's no problem with the rice. So the question is midrabanan. I can't remember his question, but if you don't eat it, so you didn't do a proper kinyan. That's what he says.
What if there's
a real kinyan.
Maybe the guy, I lost my money. It's out.
Of course, there's for sure. Right, so that's the Darabanan Dikasvar. That's the Daraisa Dikasvar. I mean, the Daraisa, there's no gazel. You can gamble all you want. You're definitely not gazim with the Daraisa. The question is why is this guy possible for Edus? Is he a Russia? You go to casino, you're Russia, you're a Ganef. We think you're going to lie just because you gambled?
I always knew that the loser doesn't part with his money.
That's the svara of Asmach Leikanya. However, you see from the Shulchan Aruch, we don't pass Asmach Leikanya. The Shulchan Aruch is passing none do the Asmach Leikanya. Shulchan Aruch is Ein Yaz B'Shem Shalayla. That's the Shulchan Aruch. Shulchan Aruch, the Rambam, we pass it's not because of Asmach Leikanya. Taisha says Asmach Leikanya by Gezel, by gambling.
Would say that it's once in a while is not a problem.
100%. Oh, so he's going to say
by gambling, it's Maktakanya?
Yeah, by gambling, it's not Gezel. If it's Asmach Leikanya, it's Gezel Daraisa, right? Why is he saying it's Avak Gezel? You say Gezel Daraisa. He doesn't say it's because Asmach Leikanya. He says Ein Isaac Mishav Shalayla, and it's Avak Gezel. Yeva Gezel Darabonon. That's the next question. If the svara is Ein Isaac, there's a chulin going on here, right? You should see straight away. There's a big kasha in the Shulchan Aruch. He says the first reason is because Ein Isaac Mishav Shalayla. Second reason is Avak Gezel. What do you mean Avak Gezel? Avak Gezel is the first terrorist. It's Asmach Leikanya is Avak Gezel. He's like making a chulin between the two answers. The Gemara says Asmach Leikanya. Asmach Leikanya means it's Gezel Darabonon. He's saying it's Ein Yas B'Shem, which is Avak Gezel. What are you talking about? Just say it. Why is he throwing in Avak Gezel?
Please finish the Shulchan Aruch. It gets so crazy that we're going to have more to talk about.
We definitely do. But you hit the kasha, that's first little kasha. He seems to make a chulin between Rav Bar Chana and Risheshes, the two svaras. It's Ein Yas B'Shem Shalaylam and it's Avak Gezel. Okay. V'lai kubi b'vad amru ala filim esachim b'kalfei goyzim v'klifei remainim v'chein lo yadim b'vad
Card plan.
amru ala filim esachim b'behema chai v'ayif. You race the animals, you race the dogs. Horse races. V'ayimrim kol hakodim es chaverik I call it Netzach es chavera yitol ba'alav shneihem. It's not really horse races. This is more like car drag races. When you race the cars and the winner takes the other guy's car, right?
Because the horse, nobody's betting against each other.
They're not betting for money. It's not like whoever wins gets $100. It's whoever wins gets the other guy's horse. This is the makar. This is the shirish of
what does it say?
Drag racing. He says, I call him Netzechas Chavera, Yitol Balav Shneim. Whoever wins goes home with both. I race you, your horse versus my horse. Whoever's horse is better goes home with both. Anything else similar? You're only possible if you race the horses, you race the cards, whatever you do. You're only possible, says the Shulchan Aruch. How is it possible? Says the Shulchan Aruch says this is all possible with Rabbanon, and it's only possible if you don't have another job. If you have another job, what's the din? If you have another job, you're kosher, you're allowed to gamble, says the Shulchan Aruch.
But there's a problem because he gives two reasons. There's also Avak Gezel.
There's Avak Gezel. So who cares if you got another job if it's Avak Gezel? That's a kasha. Shulchan Aruch says it's Avak Gezel. It's a little bit Gezel. The Rabban it's Gezel. But if you have another job, then you're okay. So
he's saying, how do you get out of the Avak Gezel?
We're going to exactly. Well, what does having a job help you? You're a ganef. You're a ganef.
Well, now you're Yeshiva. What is it? Osek Yeshiv Shalom. So
You
get out of that one because you have a job.
Right. You got out of that, but it's still Gezel.
Yes. How do we get out of that?
Oh, so let's take a look in the Sma. We saw the first Sma. We're not going to see it again.
What number?
We're over here.
Wait. I made a mark right here.
That's where we're up to?
Yeah.
No, we went way past that.
So
You weren't here yesterday?
I was here yesterday.
We didn't see the rest of the Sma? Mafri Chayanim, I remember we saw this.
No, we didn't see.
We didn't see. Okay, Mafri Chayanim, the Yishuv. Take a look at the Sma. Tes Zayin Lamed Tes. First page, Reish Chaf, bottom of the Sma. Says the Sma, Mafri Chayanim b'Yishuv, right?
Yeah.
The Gemara Yisab Shnei Perushim. What does it mean you race the pigeons? You fly the pigeons. But Gemara Yisab Shnei Perushim. We race the birds. If your pigeon comes before my pigeon, I'll give you $100. You send your bird out to, what's the word? To chop another bird. Sorry, I skipped a few words here. Rambam. The B'Shulchan Aruch is like the Rambam, the cost of Isma Frichiyonim, Lin Lahavi Yonim. It's not about racing the Yonim, it's about catching Yonim. Why? Because why would the Gemara bring two different types of gambling? Racing your pigeons is the same thing as Masach B'Kuvya, right? Same thing. So what's racing the pigeons if it's not Masach B'Kuvya? It's chopping another guy's pigeon. It's not Gazel Daraisa. All the pigeons, yours and his, everyone's pigeon, it comes from the forest. So this guy's got 100 pigeons in his shayvach, in his bird hen, and he wasn't really kind of them. You can't pick up the pigeon, you can't grab it, you go near it, it flies away. But he comes to your shayvach, right? You put the seeds down, he comes to your shayvach, and the guy's got hundreds of pigeons there, right? But it's not gazel if you take his pigeon, because he was never kind it. The pigeon came from Ma'alma. He was kind of the pigeon. So Chazal asked chopping a guy's pigeons like this. Why? Why dafka if you steal it in the town? If you do it in the midbar, it's hefka. So there's even though it's a darbanon, if you take yaina from the hefka, of course you're not what's called. You see a beautiful parrot flying around, expensive bird, you're allowed to chop it. It's hefka, right? What about racing the pigeons? That's gambling. If you race the pigeons, you're only possible if you don't have a different melacha. Because if you race pigeons, you don't have another job. That's how you're living. You're living off this. If you're grabbing other yonim, you're kidnapping other yonim, the nifsel bezeh. If you're a ganav for the Rabbanan, you're possible even if you don't have a different job, right? It's going to do that if you have another job or not. You're a ganav. When you kidnap other people's pigeons, you're a ganav for the Rabbanan, regardless of whether they have a different job or not.
So he goes according to the second shot
Yeah, and that's the Rambam Paskin of Masha Kasav and the Yashu Shah Master Shima Rambam V'Mechaber V'Kosvoi V'Chein Loyalim V'Vadamru V'Ayim Kalakayim Shaveri Dekasha Apostle the Marfichiyim Lidim Kalakayim Mando Hashmei Al Vadam Mishum Desfere the Gam Zeh Pirish Marfichiyim. That's how they understand Marfichiyim. It's talking about grabbing yonim. So why does Rambam not talk about racing the yonim? Because that's classic Masachah B'Kuvya. I'm pretty sure. Okay, so he's saying there's two isurim with yoina. If you're racing them, that's stam Masachah B'Kuvya. The Rambam doesn't mention that separately. Racing any behemah chayav v'oif, Shulchan Aruch says later on. That's also. So in other words, why does Shulchan Aruch say the Shulchan Aruch says v'lo yedim avad ela any behemah chayav v'oif, right? So that means this Mafrech Yedim is not talking about that because he says here later on the same thing about oif. So what's he talking about here? He's talking about stealing. Okay, Pashut. So there's two dinim in the Shulchan Aruch. One over here is talking about mafrichayonim, meaning stealing the pigeons, and here he's talking about raising the pigeons. Next Shema. That's the Shulchan Aruch. Now the Shema is obviously going to go to town on this. What on earth is Shulchan Aruch talking about? The Rambam The Rambam passes is not like who was it? Rav Chana, Rav Bachana. Whatever. So the Rambam says, not it's Gezel Gomer. When you gamble with someone, you're not a ganef. If you hold it, in other words, the first shita is, Asmach Lo Kanya, that's Gezel Gomer. You're a ganef. Rambam says, no, you're not ganef. You're not a ganef. Why you're not a ganef? Kivet de'ein koinim ma'isa kuvya, davale smachta. Since you were not really kaina, you think the reason why it would be Gezel is because you're not kaina the ma'is, it's a smachta, Asmach Lo Kanya. Al af shekaina isai kol and kiven she'ein chaver makna lebekin goma ele they schayk v'hitel bal yadai havale ava Gezel. The Rambam says it's not a Gezel Gomer. However, even though it's not Gezel Gomer, we don't pass the Smach Leikanya, but since it came through schayk v'hitel,
because the game.
Yeah. Since he didn't give you a Kinyan Gomer. There's a Kinyan. He says take the money, right? You won, fair and square, take the money. But he's not Kinyan Gomer. He doesn't have Das Gomer. Therefore, it's not like Gezel. So the Rambam says, even though we don't pass on Smach Leikanya, it's still Ava Gezel. Still Gezel Rabbanan. Me? Huh?
It's not nifsal. He's arguing on the Shulchan Aruch.
Why is it not nifsal? Miu. Afshesh b'tzad Gezel, even though it's Gezel Rabbanan, says it's Sma. Just because you stole b'd Rabbanan, you're not puzzled. Why? Give it Ava Gezel. Shemid Rabbanan v'lei nifsal memenu. Says the Rambam, you're not puzzled from Ava Gezel. You're right. You stole the guy's money. But guess what? It's the Rabbanan, so you're not puzzled. Why? You're only puzzled with the Rabbanan from Ava Gezel if you're not from Ava Gezel. That's why he's trying to explain the Shulchan Aruch. That's why you're only puzzled if you only have this Issa. The problem is Ava Gezel. The problem with B'sacha B'kuvi is Ava Gezel. It's not Gezel the Raisa. Therefore, if you once in a while you steal Midrabanan, you're not puzzled. But if this is your parnasa, then you're puzzled. If you have no other umnus, then mistama, you're being nana from this umnus. This is how you live. This is your parnasa. Since you nana from the gambling money, if this guy's life is the thing that he lives off, the thing that's bringing up his kids, his wife and kids, is gambling, he's puzzled. If all your parnasa is from Issa Darabanan, then you're puzzled. It needs a bit of a hezbollah, it needs a beer, but if you doesn't make sense?
No.
Keep going. His libim var. Let's say he gambles. He wins, but he doesn't live off the money. He puts all the gambling money in his inside pocket, right? He just gambles for fun, to pass the time. He's not living off of it. We're not going to say he's posel le'cheker. So you hear what he's saying? So first of all, what's the Rambam saying? Gambling is not Gezel D'Oraisa. It's Gezel D'Rabbanan. Therefore, if you gamble once in a while, you're not poseleidus. So the guy's over is D'Rabbanan. He's not poseleidus. But if all you do is gamble, that's your parnasa. So now we have a reason to be chayshish to your poseleidus, that you're going to lie in court. If you're willing to... Huh?
You need hasra?
No.
No,
You need a shot for Malkus. You need a shot to...
No, you have have two things. It's usher, your Rabbanan,
Yeah,
and for that you don't need to because there's no malchus.
yeah.
But it's still you're not a postulatus, but it's still usher. That's what comes down.
It's also Rabbanan. And if this is how you make your living, then we're chosh. Now there's a new chashash. Chazal had a new chashash on a guy that gambles for a living. We don't trust that you're a halacha guy. We don't believe you.
This is the money.
Yeah, so if you're not living off the money, you have a separate job, you got a 9 to 5, okay, so you gamble. That doesn't mean you're posel. You have a good time, posel Rabbanan. The guy's over, it's a Rabbanan. We're not going to say, the guy ate within 6 hours milk and meat, that's his posel. No. But if a guy's over every day, he goes to work, he's being over, it's a Rabbanan, he's such a low life, we're going to say, this guy we don't trust. I'll say, that guy we don't trust. Because that's his parnasa. Okay. So Lefiza, says the Sma. Af sheyesh lo yumna sacharas, even if he has another parnasa, if he has another job, but that job doesn't pay the bills, right? It's not enough. Therefore, he's also making money from the gambling. Who a big chumrah lefi the Rambam. Let's say a guy does have another job, but he tops up his, it's a side job, it's a side gig, right?
Not enough.
It's not enough. He makes money with the gambling, he's still parcel. Why? Once you're making a parnasa, you're living off the gambling, then you're parcel. Now, if you're willing to be over Isurim to make a parnasa from, that's how you make a living, through Isurim, that type of guy, we can't trust him. If you're doing it just for fun, okay, you're doing it for fun, fine. But if that's your parnasa, it's through Isurim, you're not willing to get a regular job, we don't trust you. We'll see from here also, even if he doesn't have a job b'chlal, let's say he's a rich guy, he was Yerush, millions of dollars, he doesn't actually live off the gambling, so there's no problem. He doesn't actually have to have a job. It's up to as long as he's not living off this, that's Ein Yaizik B'Shiva Shalaylam. The Lashon is this misleading the Rambam. It's not Ein Yaizik B'Shiva Shalaylam. It's Miskayim it's Miskayim they gambling, then you're post. It's a bit schwer. The Lashon doesn't really make sense. When you read the Lashon, you think Ein Yaizik B'Shiva Shalaylam. He doesn't have a 9 to 5. He's not helping anyone. He's not being productive. Says the Rambam, no. If the guy's rich, he's sitting at home doing nothing, gambling all day, that's fine. He's kosher leidus. Chiddush. No?
Because he's rich already.
He's rich. He's not living off the gambling. He's not living off awesome money.
Right. He's not so much on it.
Yeah. He's not gambling.
Your foreson as a gambler, people that is rich.
He's rich. He's not gambling to live off. He's not gambling because he wants the money. He's gambling. The reason is why you're gambling. Are you gambling for the kicks, to pass the time, to have fun, or are you gambling to make a parnasa? If you're gambling for the fun, okay, people do Isurim for fun. We're not going to pass on a guy for Eidos just because he does Isurim Darabanan. The guy, he's not making Isurim Darabanan. He talks in the middle of Chazal Zashatz. Okay, he's not pass Eidos. But if a guy does it for parnasa, the guy says, what do you want to do for parnasa? Is his school advisor. And he says, I want to gamble for parnasa. That guy's pass Eidos. Right? Go get a regular job like everybody else. So if anyone tells me volatam Rashi, but Rashi says Vator, and it's how the Tor Paskins, the Pirshu, Mashkasa Begmar, the Apostle Shashani Isaac, Bishuv Shalaylam, huh?
Okay, got it.
Third line from the bottom, or fourth line from the bottom.
Yeah.
What does Rashi say? What's a Laima? Kevin Shayla Malacha. Since he hasn't got a 9 to 5, Eine Yudea Kamakasha B'nei Adam Hamois. He doesn't value money. Umechiyosam. V'yekel olav lahid sheker. A guy who never worked for a living, a guy who doesn't work for a living, he doesn't really value money. It has no meaning to him. Money's worthless. You go and you gamble, you make money. You see what they say, easy come, easy go. Easy come, easy go. It's nothing to you. Okay, $1 million, $5 million, $100 million. You gamble, you make it back. Therefore, the din is going to be exactly the opposite. What are the two dinim? Which two dinim? The Oshir, who doesn't need the money, or the guy that gambles, the job isn't enough to make the parnasa. So why? The if he has another job, I feel koldu. And if so, let's say the guy has a 9 to 2 job and he's not paying the bills, he's not possible because he knows how hard it is to make him a parnasa. So let's say he has another job, but it's not enough to live off. Who nifso? He's possible. Sorry, if the guy doesn't have another job, because he's got, even if he's rich, he's a rich guy. He doesn't want to work, so he's possible. Why? Because he doesn't know how hard it is. So if a guy sits home and does nothing all day, Rashi, he's possible, right? He doesn't understand how hard it is to make money. It's a Rambam. The Shulchan Aruch passes like the Rambam. It's a pellet that the Shulchan Aruch doesn't bring even Rashi, the Torah. He goes if the Rambam, and the Rambam, as we said, doesn't fit in so nicely with the Lashon of the Gemara. The Lashon of the Gemara is Ein Eisik B'Shiva Shalaylam. If the Rambam, it's got nothing to do with that. If the Rambam, the only shaila is he living off this money? It's the Lashon is misleading if the Rambam, right? And that's how the Shulchan Aruch paskins. So let's take a look. What's the time? Wow, it's already 11 o'clock. Let's take a look quickly we'll start it. Take a look in the Torah, page.
The Torah argues.
Yeah. We'll take a look in the base station. The Torah. It's on page Reish. Where is it? Reish Ayin Hey in the Torah.
Race.
All right. See, it's Ein Reish. It's not. It's Ein. Yeah, because it's raw.
Take a look at the Torah. Last line of the page on Ein Reish. Mesachim B'Kuvi P'Solim.
Wait.
Last line on the page in the Torah.
Am I in the right place?
Yeah, but in the Torah, not in the base station.
Okay.
Mesachim is P'Solim v'Lav Dafka B'Kubya. And I feel any type of gambling, I feel reminding only if he doesn't have another job. Elahu. Vatam. Why? He's passing like the second shita. How hard it is to make a buck, an honest living. It's easy for him to lie. And he'll be muffed in his friend.
There's no value for money.
There's no value for money.
That's a knaish.
I feel therefore, if he has another job, any job, even if it's a part-time job, even if it doesn't pay the bills, but he understands how hard it is to make your 30 shekels an hour, then you kosher le'edus.
So if somebody's filthy rich, there's no value for money either.
He's posel le'edus. Right? Yeah, 100%. Yeah, 100%. Question: you should be posel for Dayanis also. That's the other thing. You posel edus, you posel Dayanis, no? Okay, we'll see the base station tomorrow inside. This is a fascinating sugya. Shkoyach. So what's going to be the dinner? You'll have to gamble with a goy lefiza? We'll get to it. You still ain't Isaac B'Shiva Shalaylam. Doesn't make a difference who you're getting the money from. The problem is not Gezel, right? If the problem is not Gezel, the problem is you don't know how hard it is to make a parnasa. So maybe then you'll have to own a casino. Because running a casino is not just gambling.
It's a business.
There's a whole business. You got 300 people working for you. It's staff, it's security, it's the whole thing. You know what? You know how hard it is. They say the hotel business is like the hardest business in the world, right? It's 24/7. You know exactly how hard it is. So it could